Hey everyone, I'm Carlos Thomas, and I ran for County Council District 10 previously in this last primary. Running as a Democrat, I lost by just under 1,000 votes, making it a very competitive race. And as a progressive candidate, I'm happy to be here today and keep endorsing progress in our district. May 16th showed the residents that we were ready for change and that we deserve a government who isn't going to sleep on the issues that affect the residents and impact them most. During my campaign, I asked for a few different things. I asked for a community to come together to repair the crisis that we've been seeing through the systemic issues that affect us all. Today, I'm elated to support and endorse Mr. Carl Redwood because I know that he'll bring executive accountability to a district we all know and love. After May, I know what it takes to run a campaign. I know it takes donations. I know it takes knocking on doors, phone calls, text messages. But there's one thing that I know that we can do, and that's bring radical change to a district that we much needed radical change to a district that we need. This campaign is going to take a lot of small dollar amount donations. So I'm asking you, please do visit redwoodforcouncil.com. And I'm proud to introduce today Mr. Carl Redwood.
Thank you. I'm running for County Council in District 10 for two basic reasons. First, I believe we must put people over profit in our society and in our government. A big part of that for me is that I believe housing is a human right. We must work toward housing for all. And we need to take that same kind of approach to all aspects of making this an Allegheny County for the people, whether we're talking about clean air and water for all, a livable climate for all, health and safety for all. The second reason I'm running is because I believe that in order to get at the root of these issues, we need to organize. I plan to use my platform and position to organize a Black-led working class people's assembly in the district, which would build power for the people to have a greater say in the decisions about our lives. I'm running for Allegheny County Council in District 10 because I believe we can implement bold policies in Allegheny County to put people over profit and build a better future for poor and working class people. More and more people are suffering. It's harder for people to pay for rent, healthcare, food, utilities, or just to make ends meet. Young people today are not likely to be better off than their parents. The rent is too damn high. Black people are being forced out of District 10 in large numbers. Between 2010 and 2020, we lost more than 10,000 Black people from the city of Pittsburgh. Between 2010 and 2020, we lost more than 2,000 Black people from Wilkinsburg. Poverty is too high in Allegheny County. 28% of Black residents live in poverty. That's double the rate for white families. We need to introduce a higher minimum wage countywide to move ahead of inflationary cost of living. And we should do this even though we know the state of Pennsylvania will try to block these changes. I understand that the fundamental problem we are facing is capitalism. That's why I'm a socialist. Most of the problems we face cannot be fully resolved at the county level. I recognize the limitations of the county council in addressing the larger problems of capitalism, but there are things we can do in Allegheny County to improve the lives of residents while we build alternatives to challenge capitalist exploitation. We must move toward developing a regenerative economy with socialist principles. We need to take the people over profits approach to all aspects of making this an Allegheny County for all of us. Whether we're talking about housing for all, clean air and water for all, a livable climate for all, or health and safety for all. I am committed to examining every single decision before county council by asking how we work towards these goals. Housing is a human right and one of our most basic needs. So we must work towards housing for all. We need to start by ending and reversing the gentrification process taking place in our region. I will work toward a future where all our neighbors have a right to housing by working on the following legislative goals. We need to pass a tenant bill of rights. This should include the right to counsel for tenants facing eviction, just cause requirements for eviction, ending discrimination in Section 8 rents, tenant organizing as a protected right, and proactive support and education about tenant organizing. We also need to promote common ownership of housing. I will advocate for and support community land trusts as the primary path to long-term affordable housing by proposing legislation to grant community land trusts the first right of refusal for any transfer of county property. Clean air and clean water are human rights. And so is the right to a future with a livable climate. We must prioritize our environment, health, and future over the profits of the corporations that continue to pollute our county. As a member of county council, I will work toward a future where our right to clean air and water and a livable climate is respected, promoted, and defended by Allegheny County Council and other county level positions who have the power to make this a reality. That includes working to pass legislation that will halt all fracking and move to support a just transition, legislation that will end all county support for polluting corporations that poison our air and water, legislation that will properly staff the Allegheny County Health Department so that they can follow through on their long-term emissions reduction plan with our county's biggest polluters. As a member of county council, I will also work to increase the minimum wage countywide to move ahead of inflationary costs of living. We should introduce higher minimum wage countywide, despite what is happening at the state level, where Pennsylvania is currently blocking these changes. I will support unionization in every way possible, supporting all workers' right to organize by advocating for card check union recognition. I will also support the efforts of those who work at UPMC to form a union, as well as the Post-Gazette strikers, the Starbucks workers organizing stores across our county, and every group of workers organizing for power in the workplace. This is a bold agenda, but I believe that we will win the world that we deserve if we organize and work together. I'm asking you to join me in building an Allegheny County that works in the interests of the working class and poor people. Power to the people.